Hello, I'm Osareville. Today we're going to look at Blossoms of the Savannah essay writing. 3 questions. How can one get a full in essay writing? That is 3 out of 3 in every paragraph. What are the necessary skills? Are the skills applicable? Now, when writing essays, number 1, you have the question there. Underline the keywords that reveal the value statement and outcomes. For example, determination leads to success. So, underline determination, then you underline success. You paraphrase the underlined words with the use of synonyms. So, similar words that have similar meanings in the writing of the introduction. For example, now determination will be replaced with resilience, and then we can replace success with victory. And then in our introduction, briefly, we can say that those who are resilient in this life often enjoy immense victory. Now, when you're writing a summary, always review the main points using a proverb or a summative sentence to support your claims, and always you must begin with a statement like in conclusion to summarize it, or in a nutshell. Now, interpretation of a question is very important. Always ask yourself, what is the intention of this question? Always answer the intention of the question in the first sentence of each paragraph. When you have given the introduction as those who are resilient in life often enjoy immense victory. Now we're going to mention Rizian. When Rizian faces challenges and rejection from her father due to her desire to pursue her university education, she persists, and in the long run she is registered to Egerton University. In that case, in the first sentence of the answer, paragraph 1, we already have the answer. That therefore directs the marker that the student knows what he or she is writing. Where are we now? Now we've looked at how to write an introduction and how to underline the keywords and to paraphrase them and to answer the question in the first sentence. These are the key ingredients of writing a beautiful essay. Always sustain the answer by keeping the question in mind. Always read the question again as you write the answer. Now give sufficient background information. And lastly, connect the points to the question. When answering the question, if you do not connect it to the question, you'll be merely narrating what happens in the book, and therefore you'll get an unpointed mark. That means you will not have answered the question. Now, the best way of analyzing or writing essays is to develop a SWOT analysis. Every question, like this one, for example, shows us the strengths, the weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats that the character involved undergoes. For example, what strengths does Rizian have? What are the weaknesses that she has? What opportunities does she see around her? And lastly, what threatens Rizian? So in our SWOT analysis, we can say that her strengths for example, are she's focused and determined. She is also no stranger to discrimination and being treated indifferently. Since the day she was born, the father has hated her and preferred Tayo over her. She's defiant and consistent. She does not give up. Every time she reminds Tayo to remind father to help them register at University of Egerton. Her weakness, she is dependent on a meek mother and a sister to plead her case before her father. The mother is quite subservient, quite calm. She always obeys the father. She watches as the sister. She's silent. She watches as the sister, as the father imposes difficult measures on the children. Watches as they even plans for one of the children to undergo FGM. Again, too, she easily trusts people like Olarinkoi who can have ulterior motives like raping her when she's at the brink of Riga Nasila, and Olarinkoi tells her that he knows where Nabaru is. This leads to the long journey, attempted rape, and later on her rescue. What are the opportunities around Rizian? The first opportunity, she has role models like Makariri who have battled discrimination, and one, they are described as the enemies of Nasila. She has a strong will to succeed. She does not give up. She wants the education by every measure. When the father calls Joseph Parma to coach them in song and dance, she says she won't be taught anything but at university. And lastly, what are the strengths? So like Kylo hates Rizyan. He expected a boy child when she was born. So there's a threat that it may not allow her to go to university. Lastly, the society is bent on dehumanizing practices like FGM, early marriages, and discriminative education, where the boys are allowed to go to university, but the girls are taught on song and dance. Now, if you look at the trend on report, most students who have a scanty identification of points get 1 out of 3, which is a thing. 25% of students who merely have the quote of questions, they get a thing always. Now, students with good identification points and illustrations can get a fair 2 out of 3. Especially those who narrate. Sometimes they narrate until they forget the point. But those who focus with good identification, sufficient illustration and explanation, and they always refer the question back to the answer, then lastly they get 3 out of 3, which is a full. That is how to pass in essay writing. Now, a survey shows that reading the text a few times can give a person a 6 out of 20, but those who read the text many times can get a 14 out of 20. As students prepare for Kcse, they should read the text again and again, and most students do not find this easy. Therefore, partnering them and ensuring that you're there when they read helps them to get a 14 and above out of 20. Finally, in the dialogue section, people always wonder why Kcse questions are normally overwhelmingly demanding. What should be done? The answer is simple. Always have sufficient relevant background information to support the claims that are there in the answers. Avoid narration and write as much as you can in this. Thank you very much for your time. Mosari will always subscribe to our good channel to get some of these awesome presentations. Thank you. God bless. It's been a pleasure. Bye.